Two. Hey, welcome back to VIOC in Action. We're here with my boy hanging out, Mr. Fred Dorsey, representative for the Virgin Island Track and Field Federation, one of the fastest legs ever represented the Virgin Islands. And let me tell you, the man smile, but the man quick, the man look like Mega Man straight down through the alley. Boom! That's how the thing goes. So, semi said. So, Mr. Dorsey, all right. So wait. That was 2015. We were talking about the 14. What date we was on?
We was talking about 15. We was talking about 15, 14, and then 15, and now 16.
Okay, cause I know 15 was Pan American Games on Toronto. I remember we didn't make that particular one, and I'm not sure why either for that particular one. But that was 2015, and that means you would have been entering into your junior year.
Yep.
Okay, so what competition did you do?
Sophomore year.
Sophomore year. Okay, in 15 summer, what did you do 15 summer?
That was what we was talking about with the World University Games.
Okay, got you. So now going into 2016, this is Olympic year, no?
Right.
What did you do 2016?
So in 16 I did the NatCat under 23, and the whole year I was really training to qualify in long jump for the Olympics. I just had a tough time. I went from 23 feet in long jump to 25 feet in my first meet outdoors in March of this is 15.
Mm-hmm.
And so, not 15, this is
16.
March of 16 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was like, man, I'm about to jump 28. Like, I really felt like I could jump at least 26.9 to qualify. But I ended up getting some tendonitis in my knee,
mm-hmm.
and I was young, and so I didn't take care of it the way that I needed to. Like I kind of did, and then I kind of got a little bit lazy, and so it kind of bothered me into NatCats. And then I was doing a whole bunch of other stuff that was distracting me from focusing on track. So, but yeah, I went to San Salvador, one of the most interesting places on the planet.
Let me hear it.
I had such a scary experience. I had gone down there, right? I was by myself, and I ended up being on the plane with the USA people, but none of our people were there yet. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, they were coming in, and so I was either gonna wait for them or I was just gonna go with the USA people because I knew people from Team USA. So I ended up going with Team USA, and then I took a taxi from their hotel to our hotel, and when I tell you I was so scared, I was so scared that I didn't know who the taxi guy was, heard about all this stuff about people getting stolen in San Salvador.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dang, this
kidnapped.
is a situation. Mm-hmm. But I knew a little bit of Spanish, so my mom speaks Spanish, so I knew when he was talking, I knew what he was really saying, so I was safe, and I had a good competition. I finished 4th, I think, that year in the long jump.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a better experience than the previous one, and just gave me confidence, moving forward, just to do what I need to do and take care of my body a little bit better, so I could be ready to compete. Okay,
so this was 2016 El Salvador NACAT, right? Which is under U23.
Yeah.
So question, you started off saying you went from 23 feet going on to 25 feet. Now, this is amazing because now I'm going to ask you now, how do you think within your training that got you to there? Because now we got some young athletes entering into school now that's training for track and field that's at 23 feet or wherever they at now, they trying to figure out how the heck to gain 2 more feet on my jump. So what did you do within training this whole year to get you to that particular point?
Well, really, one of the main things that I did was first I just started taking it. I mean, I already took it seriously because I was in the SEC at Kentucky, but I really started investing, in my training. Like I started putting more effort into training. I started paying more attention during practice and just really trying to perfect my craft. And technically, I try to be a lot more technical with my mechanics, like my running form down the runway, because my speed really is where my distance comes from in my jump.
Yes.
But really, it's the last three. It's those last three steps. Because in long jump, you know, you want it to be just one. My coach used to call it one big whoosh. Like you want it to start off strong and then accelerate off of the board. And so often I used to stop myself at the board trying to take a hard penultimate step, which penultimate means the step before the takeoff, for people who don't know. But I instead started to learn how to just take a softer penultimate step. So my last three steps would be a push, flat, flat. And on that last flat, I would just push up as hard as I could. I would drive my knee up as hard as I could. And I just started really crafting with that and practicing that and perfecting it. And in my first outdoor meet, I think indoors I PR'd basically every meet. I went from like 23:10 to like 24:7 indoors. And then outdoors the first meet I busted 25 on my last jump. My knee was hurting. Like it was the first time I ever had experienced any like tendonitis, knee pain and stuff. And so I bust the jump on my last jump. My coach was just telling me, look, just execute, just focus on execution. So I went down, and I can still remember now, I did exactly what I told myself to do. I pushed flat, flat. I pushed off the board as hard as I could. And then I just tried to keep my feet in front of me when I landed instead of, you know, a lot of times we let our feet down, long jumpers, before we actually get into the pit, and that messes up the jump. So I just tried to keep my feet up as long as possible, and then I tried to fall. When my feet touched the sand, I tried to just push my body forward instead of landing back. And when I got up out the pit, I was like, bro, that's far as a mug. That's crazy.
Right. Hey, that's funny. Oh, good. And okay, so wait. Okay, you got out of the pit.
My bad. Yeah. So, and then when I got up out the pit, I was like, okay, I was waiting for it, and then they flashed it on the board. They said 25. I think it was like 25-3. I was so hyped. I felt like I made the Olympics. I was so hyped. I was screaming. I ran. I was like, and I was in the lead too. So that's why I was hyped. And then tell me why my friend come behind me and jumped 26. Oh, so mad.
That's hey, but for that moment was your moment though, right?
It was my moment. I was getting all kinds of people was yelling my name. I was like, yeah, I took over this meet. And then he was struggling too. He saw me jump, and then he's just like, you know what? I'm a beat.
That's the part about always being the last jumper. Like you always could get the extra boost from the jumper that's before you. And for those who don't understand, feet in centimeter, it is 7.64 centimeters. That's around the area there. And why is that so unique to me too? Well, because I remember during my junior year, same thing. I was at during my sophomore year, I was at Virginia State, and this was my indoor sophomore year, so this is like literally my third semester in university. And I was at the meet, and I remember this guy from St. Aug's named Joe. Joe somebody, right? I think it was like Joe Penn. But Joe was a jump. This dude he did high jump, triple jump, long jump, right? He went every single one of them. And he pretty much been like my kryptonite in CIAA. And I remember I was like, man, I've been training. So this sophomore year now we're going way back because, let me see, my sophomore year was like in 2007 or 8 or something like that. 8. It had to have been 8 because that's the first year. That's the first year I ran for our national team, 2008, right? And I remember saying, man, I'm about to represent my country, like, because I had already represented the year before, but I came back with swag because, you know, after you done came back from El Salvador, you like, look, man, I'm running for a national. I got bigger goals than the SECs, man. Like, I'm about to go for these Olympics. So check, y'all over here running to June. I got to run to August. So
exactly.
I remember going that in my mind. And I remember, just as you say, running down the meet I didn't even know what I was doing because it was like an out of body experience. I just remember seeing 7.61 show up on the board, and that right there was my first 25-foot jump. And then you look at the dude. I was like, yeah, the man, what you saying? Like, oh, hey, I was hyping him, but and he jumped 760. It was right there, and I had 761. But I didn't care if it was 1.0 centimeter. I was the champ. So I remember going up on the podium, and I was like, yeah. Then when we came outdoor, this man, hey, Lashmi Bajino. I was like, blah. Hey, but like he like in outdoor season, he came back and he beat me. Yeah, he came back and beat me.
Oh, dang.
But it's all good. But well, he came back and beat me, but it's all good. So moving on like that right there, that was 2006 for you, that was 2008 for me, and transitioning to 2000. Wait, so that was your year in 2016, 2017 though, which was 2 years ago. That was an off year for all the championships, although if you was not on the senior team, you had events. So what happened in 2017?
So 2017. Let me think.
This is a junior.
2017, yeah, this would be my junior year moving into, let me see. So 16 into 17, I think that's the summer that I must have went to Guyana, I think, and ran.
Okay.
But even before that, I really had a weird season because I had this hamstring injury from indoors. I had ran 21.9 in practice, and that was the fastest time I'd ever run in practice in a 200 in a practice or in a competition.
Mm-hmm.
But I tweaked my hamstring. This is like in November, so I had a hamstring injury from November all the way to like March, April, and so it was like I had a really tough indoor season. Even though I still PR'd, I jumped 65 or 68 indoors, which is that's the farthest I ever jumped indoors or outdoor. And then I came back outdoor, and I, like you said, I just couldn't find the board. Like I was jumping 26 feet. Promise, I had at least 10, 20, 26 feet scratches, and I just couldn't get my foot down. But I messed up, and I ended up running 10.3 by accident. I mean, it was on purpose, I guess. But
right.
I ended up getting into a meet. A friend of mine was injured. I went and ran it in his place, and I was running against Christian Coleman. Everybody knows who Christian Coleman is. Mm-hmm. I just let him drag me to 10.3, and when I did that, my coach, he wanted me to run the 100 now. So I basically ran my way into a 100 for the summer, and that's when I started to really realize that I could really be good at the 100, and I started taking a little bit more interest in the 100 along with the long jump. So in Guyana, I just did the 100. I ended up coming like 4th or 5th. Mm-hmm. And I was supposed to go to the World University Games, but we ended up not going that summer. So I just kind of took all that experience from that year and just divvied it up and got ready for the next year. So I really rested the rest of the summer after Guyana.
So good point you bring up. Injuries, health prevention. So what is it that got you through? Not how you got the injury, because we always gonna get them. So what can you say now that you've been through a hamstring tweak, tear, whatever tear it was? How to get through it? Because a lot of athletes, they're gonna get them. Believe me, athletes out there, you are going to pull your hamstring and it hurt like crap. It hurt for real. It really do. And no matter how you say, "Nah, coach, it's just a little tear." Let me tell you, that heck be like a tear level 3. And you be like, really? You can't even walk. But you're like, no. Because your adrenaline going, you like, nah, coach, I got this. Believe me, guys. When you tear your hamstring, that heck to be bad for it. So what did you do to get through your hamstring injuries, and how did you prevent it after that point?
So I would say, and I'm going to say, even once you get one hamstring injury, most likely it's going to linger on, because even now, I kind of feel one hamstring is weaker than the other. But first and foremost, it's about your nutrition. in high school, I started on this thing where I stopped eating dairy completely, and I stopped eating all wheat products, so gluten. So I was gluten free and dairy free, and so I carried that on in college. And when I had got the injury, I'm not gonna say I was eating a little bit more gluten than I was supposed to, but I think I may not have warmed up as much that day as opposed to other days. But I really, after I got the injury, I straightened up on my diet a lot more, and I just tried to get more rest. Like, the number one thing that an athlete can do to regenerate their muscles is to rest. Like, you getting 8 hours of sleep is more important than you eating 80 grams of protein or whatever for the day, because your body needs time to regenerate. Like, if you up at night playing video games till 2 a.m. and you're trying to be a Olympic athlete, it's unless you're super talented, and it's easy for you, you're gonna make it harder for yourself to stay healthy. So I got on that. Like, I tried to make sure I went to sleep. I tried to make sure I got enough, to eat during the day. I tried to make sure that at practice I warmed up better than I did before I got the injury. And that's what kept me going that whole year. I mean, I still PR'd in all my events, even after the hamstring tear, or it was more of a tweak. But I tweaked it again that same year, but I was still able to compete at a high level because I was trying to take care of my body a lot better. So I would say that. I would say sleep number one, nutrition, and just paying attention to your body and making sure you're warmed up properly.
Well, I'm glad you said it, because I telling you, if I didn't hear from so many coaches say, look here, you got to take care of your body, man. Go to sleep, rest, and recover. And it's so crazy because the athlete, you like, no, coach, I got to go out there. I got to do more. I got to do this here. But guys, you don't understand how the body works. It's science, man. If you rest your body can regenerate. If you don't rest your body, you're gonna end up messing up this tear a lot much worse than you're doing. And then you're not gonna be able to compete. So the number one thing that we heard, so Charles Goffin, one of our national coaches for track and field, I always said, like, you know what, at the end of the day, I'd rather take somebody that's out of shape and healthy comparing to somebody that's in shape and injured. And there it is, because you could whip yourself into shape, but you can't whip yourself out of injury. I can tell you that much. Yeah, check. So hopefully that stick with some of you guys out there, you know what I mean? And it really is true. You could always whip yourself into shape with some hills. Give yourself some time, your body could do what it could do. But boy, oh boy, it ain't no speeding up that clock to, yeah, coach, I ready today. Nah, no way. That ain't happening for sure. All right. So that was 2007, transitioning in there. Wait. So we got the nutrition down pat. We know how to prevent the injury. Well, to prevent the injury, guys, remember the technique is called RICE, or the acronym RICE, which is rest, ice, compression, and last one, elevation, right? So you do those things right there. Guaranteed to put that on there. That's at least I ain't gonna say the fact. Let's just say that's the right protocols to go through the recovery for particular injuries, and that kind of worked for a lot of different muscles in your body, just not for your quote unquote hamstrings. And if I'm wrong, guess what? We could ask Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith, he's our head team doctor for our national team, and he got all the answers. If anything, go ahead and check him out in Therapy Works. He is located in St. Thomas and Barbell Plaza. Go on to therapyworksvi.com. You can hit him up there. See all his information there. You guys could just hit him up and he'll let you guys know everything. Mr. Fred, we got to go take a quick commercial break again, because we got to get through some of our sponsors, all those great things going through. So we'll be right back, get you back some more, and we'll find out about what's coming out. Well, we still got a whole nother year to go through. All right, so we'll be right back in a moment. VIOC in action with my man, Fred Dorsey.